Hello everyone. We made it to week 4, and I know that if you have done this work, you're definitely standing more firm. You're probably feeling a sense of calmness, peace, and possibly even joy. And I want you to know that I'm really proud of you for showing up and being committed to doing this work during this really challenging time. I know the courage that it takes to decide for the results that you want. And I also know the effort it takes to do the work. So great job. Okay, last week we talked about harvesting the good that the challenging times have to teach us and making sure we get the one thing it came to teach us. We talked about how challenging times can take us forward, which is our victory story, or take us down, the victim story. How do we turn this challenge into an empowering story for us? We talked about tools for harvesting the good. To neutralize the experience, schedule a pity party. Look for the learning using the Franklin T. Square exercise. So good. To develop an unconditional friendship with yourself. Celebrate the gift of you. Then last week, I also invited you to spend time looking for the gifts your dark night experience came to bring you. I asked you to rewrite the more empowering, liberating, and inspiring story. And I would love to hear how that experience was for you. And you could have an opportunity to share that with me this Friday, May 8th. I will be hosting a live Q&A session on Facebook and Twitter. I'll be posting the info this Wednesday, May 6th, with all of the details, so stay tuned. But as we complete our 4 weeks together on standing firm while your world is shaking, the truth is that we never really complete this work because we are in the world of circumstance. The opportunity to apply the things we've been talking about, though, just gets more deeply ingrained in us as we move forward in our life. In everyone's life, there are certain times in this human journey that in order for us to wake up to the next level, it requires a significant jolt to our awareness to shift us to a higher frequency. It can happen with a sudden diagnosis or a phone call, maybe where somebody you love has had their life changed, and that changes yours. You open mail and find out that that pension plan you thought was safe and secure is not. Whatever your version is, sometimes it happens in an instant, and other times it happens a lot more slowly. Life sends soft signals. If we don't pay attention, we're going to get some stronger signals from the universe to help us ultimately stay on course with our own soul pattern or life purpose. If we learn to pay attention to those soft signals and actually ask ourselves some key questions, we may be able to avoid that jolt. Pay attention to life's soft signals. If there's an ember on your jacket and you flick it off right away, it leaves your jacket completely unharmed, right? If you leave it, it will burn a hole. So some examples of soft signals are with your health, being out of breath, maybe when you climb the stairs, not sleeping very well, or gaining weight. In your relationships, maybe intimacy level has dropped. With your work, maybe you're feeling less creative, focused, or alive. Taking longer lunches, taking more sick days. It's not as if life is sending you signals, it's what are they? What are the soft signals that you are actually getting right now? It's important to create structures of support for change. Really important. Think of something that perhaps you've been telling yourself you're going to do or change. You've noticed the soft signal and you've been thinking about something that might be going on. Maybe you've been telling yourself the same thing for a long time and been intending to change it for a long time. Our subconscious is patterned with old habits. That is why willpower ultimately is actually not enough to cause us to change our lives. We can do it for a little while. Then we find ourselves pretty much just slipping right back into the old patterns. Creating lasting change requires implementing structures of support. Supportive people, supportive study, and supportive habits. Then decide for the life that you want. I remember years ago when I was still skating and I was experiencing a really challenging, going through a hard 3 years. I would watch other skaters and I would always say, geez, I sure hope I make it there one day. I hope my dreams come true. And then a very wise man said to me as he heard me talking about hoping my dreams come true. He said, Jamie, don't hope. Decide. Decide for your dreams. You need to decide for it when it's not convenient, when it's uncomfortable, and when you don't feel like it. I will always cherish that advice as it literally changed my life for the positive from that day forward. The universe wants us to have lives that we would actually love to live. The life you want wants you, but you must decide for it. In this life, there are some dark times and rough moments, absolutely. Every one of us can tell our dark night story, right? I mean, I have been a pro at this in my past. We hear them and we know that had to be for that one person going through it absolutely excruciatingly painful, difficult, and even scary. And yet, we're still breathing. Every single one of us has full access to the capacities of a universe that is ready to take us to the next step on that ladder, to the life we would love to live, the difference we'd love to make, the gifts that we'd like to leave, and the legacy that we'd like to deliver, if we decide for it. You can access your inner sanctuary. There is a place inside of each one of us that is safe, connected, and pure. It is a place where you are protected from all of the elements of the world of circumstance. This part of you can't be harmed by circumstance. In this place, not one thing can taint, harm, or even ruin our connection with the actual infinite. From this place, you get to decide what you will make of your experiences. You get to shape its meaning. How we connect with that part of ourself and then learn to live from that place is what it means to actually stand firm when your world is shaking. As you learn to live from this center, life can throw anything at you that's bigger than you and your connection to the infinite spirit to which you belong and live actually from. We can create true beginnings. How do we take the experiences that have happened in our lives and actually use them to create a new beginning, a true beginning? How can we use it as something that moves us forward and actually lifts us higher? Let's use the acronym TRUE, T-R-U-E, as a guideline for how to do that. T, think in an empowering way about your circumstance. The circumstance itself is neutral. It just happened. Whatever it was, it's neutral. You want to find an empowering way to look about the circumstances of your history. So ask yourself, what's an empowering way for me to think about my dark night? How you think about it has everything to do with it. Make a stand for I am going to have an empowered way to think about it. Okay, even if you have to make it up at first. Okay, make up that story. Just make sure it's more empowering than anything that keeps you at that victim state regarding your experience. Eric Butterworth said, "Consider the lowly caterpillar." Okay, it is self-evident that the caterpillar and butterfly live in entirely different worlds, and no one would ever say that a caterpillar is a butterfly or that a butterfly is a caterpillar. Yet, we know that the caterpillar and the butterfly are simply different levels of expression of one entity. The caterpillar can fly, but not as a caterpillar, only as a butterfly. It has the potential, but something has to happen to it. We don't want to get stuck in the birth canal. So, what we want in the dark night and what we do with our dark nights can cause us to get stuck in those experiences, or they can become the very propellant of understanding, broadness, and depth building that takes us forward. It starts with thinking in an empowering way about your circumstance. R, release old ways of thinking, being, and acting. These old patterns pull us back rather than move us forward. We can't keep doing these things in the same way and expect a different result. Release the disempowering ways of thinking about your experiences. Release any aspect of your life where you are not feeling love. How can you bring love to this area? Release any area of life where you are not feeling aliveness. What do you need to bring aliveness to this area? Take an overall temperature reading on your life. Okay, what's fulfilling and what's not? What do you need to let go of? And you use your co-creative capacity to create a life that you absolutely love. The boy said, "Wise man, tell me how to get to Mount Olympus." The wise man said, not only to that boy, but to us, "I will tell you how to get to Mount Olympus. Make every step you take head in that direction." Use your co-creative capacities to head in the direction of the life you want. Use the life force that is inside of you. And E, expect these principles to work for your good. Expect your vision to become a reality. Expect things to turn around for you. Expect good to come your way. And expect that which you seek also is seeking you. Expect in the same way that as if you planted an apple seed and you expect that apple tree to actually grow. But we expect it with gratitude. We have the opportunity to turn our dark night experience into a beautiful new beginning if we use it well. Using it well requires that we pay attention to those soft signals, create a support structure for necessary changes in our lives, make a decision for the life we love, and learn to connect with our inner sanctuary where we are absolutely protected from the elements of circumstance. And learn to think, release, use, and expect in a way that moves us to the next step on the ladder of our becoming. As we wrap up our study together, I invite you to consider these questions so you can write these down. What are the soft signals in my life right now? And you may have been experiencing a few, so write them all down. What structures of support do I have in my life right now? That's a very good one. And are they a positive influence on you? What additional structures can I put in place? What supportive people do I want to surround myself with? What supportive study can I engage in to train my mind and my thinking? What supportive habits do I want to cultivate? What is the life I want? And how can I decide for it right now? What is the best way to access my inner sanctuary? What can I do to live more and more from this place? What steps can I take to create a new, true beginning